Okay, all right. Today's show is going to be a doozy, and this show may just get forwarded to everyone in the industry, and I'm kind of nervous to even talk about it, but I'm just going to do it. Okay, now before we get into this, let me give you a little bit of the backstory. For a while now, I've had this thought in my head about technology. You know, how it's great and it's awesome and it makes things faster and cheaper. And I actually watched this show called How It's Made. I know, I'm kind of a nerd, but still, just stay with me here. It's a cool show about how things are made, and sometimes they visit factories and we get to see how 30 bajillion Twinkies are made in one single day, or how 10,000 cars are pumped out in a single day with a crazy efficient assembly line. After a few shows, I started thinking to myself, I wonder what that looked like 10 or even 20 years ago. Those jobs were probably performed by people, you know, granted at a slower pace with a higher amount of errors, but at one point, those factories were filled with people, you know, like moms and dads, you know, cranking out our Twinkies and cars. So I took the next natural step in my mind and wondered, could machines ever replace me? Startling question, and not something I really wanted to answer, to be honest with you. So, fast forward to today. I've applied this thought to the real estate industry in my head for quite some time and wondered what the impact would be if we were all replaced by machines. You know, crazy thought, but stay with me here. If I've been thinking about this, odds are other people are thinking about this, and wouldn't you know it, Bloomberg actually just wrote an article about it, and the University of Oxford just performed a major study about it. Holy smokes, this thing just went from a grandiose fear in my mind that I hoped would never come true to a nationwide article and university study. So, I stumbled upon this article labeled, "Your Job's Taught to a Machine." And I think to myself, holy smokes, did this guy just read my mind? Of course I clicked on it, and holy freaking smokes, it literally mentions loan officers and realtors in the first 15 seconds of the read. Yeah, that just happened. To my horror, I continue to read as the article eerily lays out my thoughts in my head as if the nightmares that I've been having has been translated into printed words right on the computer screen. And yeah, it gets even better. Again, guys, don't light me up about this, because up to this point, this has just been a thought in my head, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but some of this stuff leads me to believe that my fears may have been warranted. So you can click on the Oxford study link, and up pops a nice little infographic that reflects the estimated probability of computerization of more than 700 occupations. And wouldn't you know it, loan officers are number one. Numero freaking uno. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? Now, realtors, you guys were mentioned as well, and I found a separate article talking about how software is replacing you. Again, let me reiterate, this is not me saying this stuff. I'm simply sharing the information. They talk about the Zillows and the Redfins of the world and point to Zillow's now massive following of 70 million users a month. They were just at 5 million users back in 2009, and now they have 70 million users. I hate to admit this, but we pointed out on our show several times, the trend of homebuyers continues to start on the internet. It may not be an assembly line like back in Detroit, but it's still a machine, and these online sites are taking loan applications and helping people find their homes at an alarming rate. And yes, the trend is growing, and as much as we hate to say it, homebuyers use their phones and their tablets to search for homes more than they drive around like in the olden days. They search for homes via Zillow or some other app, find a few houses they like, and then give you a call to take a look or even make an offer at that point. It's pretty crazy, and as much as I want to dismiss these facts, I can't, and I have to be aware of them, and I have to know what sets me, and you for that matter, apart from all of them. We will post the links to the article down below, but really, let's talk about this. I'll place my rebuttal to a machine or a software taking my job down below. You guys can follow up with your own rebuttal, or maybe some of you guys actually agree with the Oxford study and feel that it's only just a matter of time. Either way, let's blow this chat log up, and for God's sake, share this with your office, and let's talk about this at our office meetings. We have to be aware of this stuff. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and think that this can't happen to us. If you happen to have that mindset, start watching those shows that I was referring to earlier called How It's Made, and you tell me how many actual people you see actually making things. Goods and services can and will be replaced by computers, machines, and software. The question is, will our industry be overhauled in the same fashion? God, I sure hope not.